Okay, so today we're going to talk about printmaking. So I have a placemat, I have a print plate. This is called a Monoprint plate. This is a tray. Inside it is ink. This little painter thing looks like a paint roller. It's called a brayer. And the ink comes in containers like this. Ink is a little stickier than paint, and it's quite messy. You can see my hands are already messy because I've been working on it. Okay, and you're going to need 2 sheets of white paper. So what you want to do is squeeze a little bit of ink into a tray, and when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit, and you want to gently just squeeze. And then you take your brayer and you roll it. And it's going to start to sound like a little crackly. When you hear that crackle sound, that's when you know you're good, and then you're just going to put the ink onto your print plate. So this is your printing plate. You want to make sure you get it all filled up. And go in different directions. Alright, then you guys are going to take your printing technique. So this is actually padding that goes under carpets, and you're going to lay it onto your plate, and you're just going to press down on it, not too crazy hard, just so it leaves a nice mark. Then you're going to lift it up, set it to the side, take your first sheet of paper, and then you want to rub gently, not too hard. Just make sure you get all your corners. And then to pick one corner, peel it up. And what you've done is you've made a very interesting design. And this is called a print. And then you're going to take your second sheet of paper. This is going to be called a ghost paper. So what this does is it really just picks up all the ink off of your plate. It kind of cleans your plate off for you. But the cool thing is sometimes your ghost prints look cooler than your regular prints. So we'll just see. Sometimes they don't. So then this is just, the purpose of the ghost print is to clean it off. So if it doesn't look that cool, that's okay. It's just sometimes they do. So we clean off our plate. Pull up your ghost print. So you can tell a lot of the ink has already been removed, but it's really faded and you can still see it, so it looks like a ghost. It looks like a ghost print. So you have 2 types of prints from one plate. So this is a mono print process. Okay, so my print is ready for the second pull, the second time around, second print. So I have a different color in my tray. And I want to get my brayer full of the ink. Now obviously we could just leave it like this. This is very cool to look at as well. But I just want us to learn a few more steps to the printing process. But if you ever just wanted to keep it simple, then by all means go ahead. Sometimes being simple is better. But if you want to do a second time around, you can do this with me. Okay, so I have my plate full of ink, and now I'm going to use a stencil, and I'm going to lay it onto the plate. And I have 3 of the same kind, so I'm just going to lay them, and see how some go off? That's fine too. And then I'm going to take my print, rub. So you can see the stencil blocked out the shapes, so you can still see that green coming through. Alright, so now I can take my stencils off, and they're going to have a lot of ink on them, and put them in your little bucket, and when the ink dries we can reuse them. And now you just take your ghost print paper, rub, 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 and that will clean off your plate, and then you're still going to get an interesting print from that. because those ghost prints are always just kind of neat to look at. Okay? So here are your two prints. One is the real print, one is the ghost print. And then you would have to clean everything up, and all this is very washable. You just put it into the sink and it starts to come right off, and you gotta put it on the drying rack to dry.